One. And we're live. Hello, everybody. It's welcome to the 25th episode of the FilmBrony Podcast. Yes, episode 25. I'm of course the guy in charge of this production, Nick Canino. You might know me from like my movie reviews and stuff. But like always, I'm not alone. I have some guests with me, who are joining me once again for this, including one that started this whole podcast himself. So, introduce yourself, guys.
My name is Christian Frates, and I'm an aspiring filmmaker and voice actor on the autism spectrum, and I have a lot of films in my collection.
You know, I can forgive the Oscars for a lot of things. I can forgive them for nominating Don't Look Up. I can forgive them for snubbing No Way Home. Okay, I can't forgive them for that. Because there's this one thing that just gets under my skin. The way they disrespected animation like that.
Yeah, if you guys saw this year's Oscars, you probably know that when the three Disney live action princesses were announcing the winner of the Best Animated Feature category, they had the audacity to imply that animation is for kids. Are you shitting me?
I'm so fucking sick of that rumor.
Same here.
It's not a rumor.
Fuck you, Barry.
Yeah, really. It's just, oh my goodness. It's just, let's get this off our chest to see why this rumor is complete bullshit. Number one, just because it's animation doesn't necessarily mean it's strictly for kids. And number two, animation is for everybody. And number three, if animated films really are for kids, then how do you explain the recent nominee Flea, as well as the Triplets of Belleville, my all-time favorite animated film, being nominated for Best Animated Feature, as well as Anomalisa and Persepolis, which both received either a PG-13 or R rating, that they got nominated for Best Animated Feature. How do you explain those?
And most of all, how do you explain Beauty and the Beast, Up, and Toy Story 3 being nominated for Best Picture? The top honor.
Don't forget Up.
And
I
Up.
did say Up.
He did say Up. This just shows that the Oscars are honestly out of touch with reality.
They really are.
I mean, first them being so politically biased, and now this.
And I'll have to applaud the winner for Best Short Film for giving animation the respect the pretentious Oscars will never have.
Yeah, really. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid that they would even do that in the first goddamn place. Overall, I'm gonna say this one more time. Fuck you, Oscars. Fuck you for not only being politically biased by not only nominating Don't Look Up for Best Picture, but a big fuck you for saying that animation is strictly for kids, when it's complete bullshit, since animation appeals to everyone. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, it's like some guy saying that video games is just for kids, but, well, it's not. Not just for kids. Games are for everybody.
Exactly.
Oh, and by the way,
He's a huge Sly Cooper fan.
Yeah.
So who are they trying to bullshit?
Oh, and by the way, I love the fact that Will Smith suddenly got shunned from the Hollywood because of one slap. But Amber Heard can abuse her husband and lie about it and still have a career.
Don't forget Damon Mills. You know who Damon Mills is, right?
Yes.
I'm shocked that he's still kept by Funimation.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We all stand with that.
Like for real. You know what, Rick Moranis?
How many assholes we got?
Take it away.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Let me try that again. I'm sorry.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Like for real.
Yeah.
If it was the liking, it would be, how many idiots have we got in this gorge anyhow?
Yo!
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Just like how
Star would say, I'm surrounded by idiots.
or in that one Ed and Eddie episode where Double D said, I'm surrounded by idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just at the end of the day, the Oscars could kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I can't wait for them to bomb even harder next year.
Oh, same here. Same here. Yet they had the opportunity to redeem themselves after last year's disaster. Yet they had the audacity to have Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Virginia Hall become the host of the show and eliminate most of the categories. That is inexcusable.
And not to mention, one of the categories they cut out features the winner giving animation the respect animation deserves.
Yeah, real. You know what? Fuck the Oscars. I'm done talking about them. We're gonna move on to Blu-ray Showcase because I had enough of these fuckers already.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Fuck you, Oscars. Fuck you.
Yeah, seriously. Anyways, Blu-ray Showcase. 21 grams.
That's a great movie.
All About Eve.
Nice.
Belfast.
I also own that film.
The Card Counter.
Nice. I love that movie.
City of God.
Nice.
This three-film Leica collection. Coraline, Paranorman, and the Box Trolls.
Nice.
Dog Day Afternoon.
That's a classic.
Double Indemnity. And Education.
That's a great movie. Peter Sarsgaard. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Empire of the Sun.
I meant to say that Peter Sarsgaard is fantastic in that film, as well as Carey Mulligan in the film In Education.
The Frighteners.
Nice.
I have that too.
Gospel Park.
That is a great movie.
The Island.
Nice.
The King and I.
Nice.
Cuba and the Two Strings.
That is one of the best animated films I saw from the last decade, easily.
The Last Duel.
Last Duel was great.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Nice. One of Guy Ritchie's earlier films he did.
Yep. Man on the Moon.
Nice.
Meet the Robinsons.
Nice, a very good film, and definitely way better than Home on the Range and Chicken Little.
Unless you count their video games, which are good.
Right.
The Messenger.
Nice.
Missing Link.
Nice.
The Piano.
That is a classic.
Ransom.
Nice. Mel Gibson is so good in that film.
Respect. You
One of the
gotta
most-
Aretha Franklin.
Seriously. And that is like one of the most underrated films I saw last year. Next to Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah. Wrong's Gone Wrong.
That's a good one.
Snaps.
Nice.
Some Like It Hot.
Nice.
The original Suspiria.
That's a classic.
Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Nice.
Tears X1138. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. The Triplets of Belleville.
Oh! Here it is. My all-time favorite animated film.
True Romance.
Nice.
United 93.
That is a great film.
Upgrade.
Sweet.
Wolf with Bashir.
One of the darkest films I've ever seen, but a very powerful and gripping film.
West Side Story, the remake.
There it is. I also have it too.
And last but not least, the movie that Dear Evan Hansen tried to be and failed. World's Greatest Dad.
One of Robin Williams' best movies.
And here's my collection. I have Office Space.
Nice.
I have the Scream 3 movie collection, which comes with 2 extra documentaries.
Nice.
We'll talk about that franchise in a little bit.
Yeah. She's the Man.
I've seen that. It's fine.
Coyote Ugly, which comes with an extended cut.
Nice.
The American Pie collection.
Nice.
Wow! Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights.
Nice.
Social Network.
That is a classic. That should have won.
Classic.
That should have won Best Picture over The King's Speech.
Yeah.
At least Best
and I
Director.
have Mortal Kombat, MK Annihilation, MK Legacy, and Spawn.
Nice. Nice.
And I have Brightburn because I know a lot about Gunn's relatives and filmography.
I didn't like Brightburn.
I'll have to see it. It looks interesting.
The Patriot Extended Cut.
Roland Emmerich's only good movie that I liked.
Yeah. The Wolf of Wall Street.
That's a classic.
That's a classic. Jinx.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's also a classic.
Another classic.
Silence.
One of the most overlooked films from the 2010s, without a
And
doubt.
Saving Private Ryan.
Another classic.
That's
Hey,
the one over
Over
Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare and Loathsome. Hey, Wienerstein.
How are you doing in prison, dude?
Yeah. How you doing in prison? You prick. That's what you get for like sexually harassing, assaulting, and raping over 100 women. You sociopathic pig. Yeah. All right. So I got some Blu-rays myself. I have 12 that I'm gonna show. Here's one of my favorite movies of 2018, 8th Grade.
That's an overlooked one.
It is. It was number 5 on my list. My favorite animated film of the year, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Can't wait to see the sequel in October.
It came with an
Me too.
extended cut.
Oh yeah. And that's one of my favorite movies from 2019, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's a modern classic right there.
It had a novel.
Oh. Soren, what's going on?
I was saying that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had a novel adaptation.
Oh yeah. Fault Soren just Soren just was having some technical difficulties, but don't worry, he'll be back on air soon. In the meantime, next one of my favorite movies of 2019, Joker.
Yeah. Epic film.
It's a very epic film. Little Women, another one of my favorites from 2019. Greta Gerwig did an incredible job with this one. And he's back. Hey Soren, what happened?
Yeah, my dad recently got me a headset.
Okay. Next, Judas and the Black Messiah. I love this
film last year.
Yes, I love that film. Ignoring the slap, Will Smith was fantastic in King Richard.
Good movie.
Great movie. Next, my second favorite animated film from last year, Encanto.
Yeah.
Next, Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley.
I saw it in black and white.
I love that movie. My only problem I did have with the film is that it was a bit too long. It was still a great film. One of the best from 2021. Next, oh boy, you guys are going to be excited when I didn't want to take a picture of this in the group chat because I wanted to reveal this as a surprise, but I got this from Jewel Wednesday, and oh boy, am I excited to show you guys what I got. Spider-Man No Way Home.
There you go.
It comes on sale.
Yeah, nice. And then West Side Story, one of my favorite movies from last year.
Biggest surprise last year.
Yeah. Kenneth Branagh's Belfast, another one of my favorites from last year. And finally,
Last year.
yeah, after that disastrous Artemis Fowl, which I heard awful things about. Yeah. And last but not least, my all-time favorite animated film, The Triplets of Belleville.
That's an overlooked classic.
It's a classic. It is one of the best. It is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. If you have not seen this movie, you are missing out on this masterpiece. Watch it as soon as you can.
Alright, that's it for all our Blu-rays, and we have some movie reviews.
We got some movie reviews to talk about, so starting with Scream 5.
Or as I like to call it, 5 Cream. And I didn't think this movie was great. It was pretty much the same thing as the last movie, and I didn't think it was clever about it. And unlike the first two movies where the commentary is subtle, here it's obvious and fairly forgive its faults in its sometimes cheap jump scares and stupid motivation. However, good acting and some thrilling scenes here and there make me glad I saw it. It's definitely better than the last two, but it's not the best. Watch this one if you want, but I'd say see the first two Screams instead. And I'm giving this one the seal of adequacy.
Yeah, and I told you guys that Ghostface is the same voice actor as Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, no.
No wonder Ghostface really hates little girls.
I think I hear an echo.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's fine. As for me, I really like this movie a lot. The first two, well, it should come as no surprise when I say that Scream is one of my all-time favorite horror films. I love how it was subtle with its commentary on with its commentary on slasher movies, while at the same time poking fun of them, and being thrilling at the same time, and having its self-aware characters. The second film did a fantastic job parodying sequels, the third film wasn't too bad, but it didn't work as a satire on like Hollywood.
Well, it's no thanks to Columbine.
Right, and Aaron Kruger. Aaron Kruger, who wrote the screenplay. The fourth one was all right. It was all right. Good performances, but the characters, it's minus Nev Campbell, David Arquette, and Courtney Cox's characters. The rest I just didn't even care about. And above all, I didn't like the third act of the film and the twist. It was just too stupid for me. This one is a lot better. Scream 5. The only things I was disappointed by were that it does suffer through a couple pacing issues here and there. I was disappointed. I was shockingly disappointed by the twist, as it was a bit predictable, especially when it came to who was behind Ghostface the whole time. No spoilers for those who haven't seen it, and the one thing I also hated. Okay, look. The one thing I also hated are those stupid false alarm jump scares. Now, let me say this to the filmmakers. I do applaud you guys for trying to like parody false alarm jump scares, but it does not work when you're trying to do the exact same thing in this one.
As Mr. Enter once said, pointing out your problems doesn't make them go away.
Yeah, and even though I can't stand Mr. Ender, and I still can't stand Mr. Ender to this day. Sorry to those that like him, but he's one of my most hated people on YouTube. He's one of my most hated YouTubers of all time. But despite that, I really like this movie. Scream 5 was a fun and entertaining film that does a good job. That does a good job at satirizing like reboots. So yeah, overall this is an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, and I saw Scream 5 with my dad, and it was good, and I like the subtext within the meta references like in the original films.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm glad that they dedicated it to Wes Craven.
Oh, me too. That was very, very well executed, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Wes Craven, even though the directors of this movie did a really good horror movie, Ready or Not, they had a lot to. They had some high expectations when covering people.
Yeah, and for the most part, they did a really good job. All right, so I guess I'm up next since I'm the only one that saw this. But my next movie we're going to be talking about, since I'm the only one that's talking about this, is the fifth film in this in the fourth film in the series, Jackass Forever.
Well,
now,
if you count Furry Grandpa and Grandpa,
that's really more of a spin-off, but yeah. I really enjoyed the Jackass movies a lot. They're not great, but they're definitely a lot of fun to watch. Especially number 2. Number 2 was originally my favorite one of the series. This one, Jackass Forever. Oh man. Guys, this is not only my favorite Jackass movie in the series, but I'm going as far as to say this. This is one of the funniest movies I've seen this year. I was very surprised with how much I was laughing at most of the stunts and pranks they pulled in the film. And what really hit me home for this is that this felt like seeing old friends again. that you haven't seen in years, and then getting together to do some fun, to do the things that you love doing one more time. And that's what worked about Jackass Forever. The fact that these guys are well known for like dangerous stunts and pranks that they originally did when it premiered on when the reality TV series premiered on MTV in the I think it was like late 90s or like early 2000s. I'm not sure, but
late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. Thank you.
My late sister Caroline used to watch them.
Yeah, and they're really, these guys are really funny. When it comes to stunts, like when it comes to like doing stuff like this. Granted, there are a couple stunts. And pranks that I really could have done without, but that's really my only issue with the film. Everything else was just absolutely terrific. I loved 90% of the stunts and pranks. It was very well shot, very well directed, very well edited, and overall, I thought it was a really, and I loved. And I know some people had some problems with the way like it ended. To me, I loved the way it ended and the last stunt they pulled in the film. I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but let's just say once you see that final stunt, you're in for a big surprise. Yeah, so overall, Jackass Forever is one of the funniest movies I've seen this year, and it's on my list as one of my favorite movies I've seen in 2022 so far. 9.5 out of 10, or an A.
And did you know that Steve-O voiced himself in Tony Hawk's Underground 2?
Yes.
A game that had Shrek in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing videos of that, too, so...
And yeah, right. I'm glad that this movie's being moved forward.
Yeah, fuck that movie. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
When we get to one certain film.
Hey, for my next movie, remember that movie Songbird? The movie that tried
Soren, I could hear an echo.
Hold on, let me. Is this better?
That's better.
As I was saying, Songbird.
Jesus.
You cooking popcorn?
Guess what I have to do with the echo then?
Oh well. As you were saying.
Remember that movie Songbird, the movie that tried to tell a story about the pandemic and completely failed?
Motherfuck that movie, man.
And remember the movie The Woman in the Window, the movie that tried to be Rear Window for a New Generation, but ended up totally sucking?
I thankfully never saw that, so...
Well, nobody will never see the movie, and they shouldn't because they blow. Point is, this movie, Kimi, pulls up whole premises way better. Steven Soderbergh takes full advantage of both the pandemic and AI, and makes a compelling, well-directed thriller with some good use of sound and cinematography. However, Zoe Kravitz' performance truly makes this movie work. So if you have HBO Max, one of the first things you should do is boot up and enjoy one of the decade's most uniquely directed and hidden gem movies, which I'm giving the seal of cinema.
Wow.
Next movie review is Death on the Nile.
Which I also saw.
Me too.
So with Kenneth Branagh currently having enough Oscar bucks to fill a Nile with Belfast, this one fell really short.
Yeah, it did.
There is the whole thing, as with the previous film, and there are instances of black and white which I thought were well crafted. However, like with Orient Express, the characters are well acted, but don't have any distinct characteristics, and other than being a suspect. Adding in several common pacing issues. After a pointless prologue that's essentially the origin story of Forrest's freaking mustache. We just see him having a vacation in Egypt, and the murder mystery doesn't even start until the hour mark. Also, I felt the CG was really shoddy.
Oh my god, the CGI was terrible!
So yeah, even though I didn't love Murder on the Orient Express, it at least had what was trying to do. This one just fell short, and I'm gonna have to give it the seal of mediocrity.
For me, I thought it was fine.
It's okay. I like Gal Gadot's performance.
Gal Gadot was very good. The acting wasn't the problem here, nor was the musical score, cinematography, and production values and costume design. The problem was the story.
Yeah.
Like, how many times, like, if you read the, like, if you've seen probably the original film, like the 1980 from like early 1980, either 1978, either 1970 or 1980, I can't remember. But if you've seen the original film, you probably know what happens in this one. But yeah. Also, the twist was so predictable, especially when it was revealed on who killed Gal Gadot's character. It had a really predictable twist, and it's poorly paced, clumsily directed, clumsily edited. The writing was, and above all, the story was a muddled mess too. This wasn't terrible. It has some great moments here and there, and it's very well acted. But the film really could have been a lot better, and for that reason alone, and like I said, it carries the exact same problem I had with Murder on the Orient Express back from 2017, and it's that the character development is a mess.
I'm still talking. That was my dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and sadly, this carries the same problems here in Death on the Nile. So, 5.5 out of 10 or a C plus. I really wasn't a fan of this film. Not a bad movie, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, it's pretty mid-tier. Not nearly as good as Belfast, but not nearly as bad as Mrs. Faust either.
Which, thank God, I did not see again.
Yeah. Next up is Uncharted. And
wait. Actually, my next movie, the next movie is actually "Marry Me" with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson.
Oh, I apologize. Go on.
It's fine. Basically, "Marry Me" is a story about Owen Wilson's character, whom one night he has an experience. One night after Jennifer Lopez's character's boyfriend Bastian cheats on her with another with another woman. She marries a stranger played by Owen Wilson. Now, although the premise about a pop star marrying a stranger feels really silly and odd, however, I actually think this was a solid rom-com. It's not great, nor do I think it's one of the best rom-coms I've ever made, since it does suffer through cliches that you've seen in other rom-com films before. The story is silly. It does suffer through some pacing issues here and there, and not all the jokes do land. But overall, I thought the film was a solid like rom-com movie. The writing was solid. It's not a great script, but it was a solid one due to good dialogue and good characters. The directing was very good. The acting was great. Everybody in the film gave out a very good performance. Jennifer Lopez was fantastic in the film, and so was Owen Wilson. And not to mention, both Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez have really good chemistry with each other. The chemistry really works so well in this one. I was also very surprised on Sarah Silverman in this film. She was one of the best things in the. She was great. She got a great supporting performance in the film. When I saw the trailer for this, I really thought she was going to be the most annoying thing in the film. Surprisingly, she was much better here. She was much better, and I'm glad I was proven wrong. She was great in this one. It's got good music, great cinematography, 85% of the jokes land, and although predictable, I did find the ending to be pretty nice. So yeah, overall, Marry Me may not be great due to its silly storyline and the cliches that it has, but it is a solid rom-com film that I am definitely going to give a 7 out of 10 or a B. I would definitely recommend this to those who have a taste for romance. Check it out.
Did you count how many times Owen Wilson said wow?
Maybe like a couple times or so.
When I saw Midnight in Paris, I mentally counted in my head, and he said it 4 times.
Yeah, Midnight in Paris is a great movie. One of Woody Allen's best.
Yeah.
Just despite him being a creeper nowadays. Creepy, yeah. But again, I like to separate art from the artist.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's Uncharted.
Okay, now we're gonna get on to Uncharted.
I thought it was alright. It doesn't really add anything new to the treasure hunting adventure genre. Plus, I just don't see Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake solely. Even though I haven't really played the games, so I can't really judge them much.
The games are really good.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard too.
However, as a generic treasure hunting adventure, this was fun. The direction is solid, and the action sequences are well choreographed, albeit a little CG at times. Plus, Tom and Mark are clearly having fun in their roles, and they alone make this movie. So while I believe this franchise could be done better justice in the future, this was a solid blockbuster on its own, which I'm giving the seal of adequacy.
I might be in a minority on this, but I really dislike this one. Yeah, this movie was. Look, this isn't as bad as like the 355 or Moonfall or the other film we're going to talk about in a little bit. But this was one of the most boring, generic, and forgettable movies I have seen this year so far. The only redeeming... Yeah, Tom Holland and Sophia Ali do deliver some good performances in the film. The action sequences are fun to watch, especially in the bar scene and the climax. And it has a really good musical score and cinematography, but that's really the only things I liked in the film. The rest of it, the problem with this movie is that it just feels like nothing more than an Indiana Jones and the Pirates of the Caribbean ripoff. That's what it felt like as I was watching the movie, and that's why I feel it went for those cliches that I've seen in other films before. And to quote this one reviewer who used to be on Channel Awesome before the whole controversy happened, "Never reference a better movie that I could be watching in your crappy movie." Or mediocre movie, I should say. The story.
It does have a cameo from the original voice of Nathan Drake.
Yes, Nolan North. That was memorable, and that was honestly, I would argue that was the best part of the whole film. That cameo. The story was a muddled mess. The script was a mess too. The script, man. The fucking script. The script is just one of the worst of the year so far, in my opinion, due to two problems with this. Number one, the character development was a mess, and number two, the dialogue is cringe-worthy as hell. I'm dead serious. The dialogue is so cringe-worthy that you can't even believe a real human being would even say that. It's clumsily directed, clumsily edited. It's poorly paced. The CGI effects are really lackluster, to say the least. I already mentioned the cliches, but the rest of the acting was just. Look, I love Mark Wahlberg. I love this guy. He's a very talented actor, and if you need proof, watch The Departed and The Fighter and Boogie Nights. But my God. Not only was he horribly miscast as Victor Sullivan, but even when he tries to give out a good when he tries to play the character, his performance comes off as very shallow due to the fact that he's playing Mark Wahlberg himself rather than the character that he's playing, and that really was distracting for me.
Can you
Fun
say
fact,
that
when the film started in development, Mark Wahlberg was considered to play Nathan Drake.
Can you say it's as bad as his performance in The Happening?
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's as bad as the performance in The Happening, but it's up there. It's up there. Antonio Banderas and the actress that played the other villain, I forgot what her name was, but their talents were like horribly wasted due to how poorly written their villain characters are too. Let me look this up really quick. Let me look this up really quick. Tati Gabrielle. There we go. Tati Gabrielle. Again. Yes, Madeline fan. Tati Gabrielle's her name, so my apologies for that. Overall, Uncharted isn't horrendous. Since it does offer some good performances by Tom Holland and Sophia Ali, as well as good action sequences, a memorable cameo by Nolan North, and good musical score and cinematography. But the movie was just one of the most generic, boring, and forgettable movies I've seen this year so far, and for that, I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 10 or a D+. Unless you're a huge Uncharted fan, it's not worth your time.
But what is worth your time is the latest DC film, The Batman.
And for those who are diehard Uncharted fans, I suggest watching the fan film starring Nathan Fillion, or playing the games themselves.
Seriously.
And this was hands down worth every bit of anticipation.
Oh, it was.
Why I don't think this topped the likes of The Dark Knight or Batman v Superman as the greatest Batman film. It's definitely in the top 8. Matt Reeves' vision of the Caped Crusader, Batman, and his adversaries are something to behold. Combine the themes of the Nolan movies with the look of and feel of the Arkham game. The cinematography, production design, and Michael Giacchino's music are top tier and complement the overall vision. Robert Pattinson pulls off an outstanding performance as both the mentally troubled Bruce Wayne and the emotionally tough Batman. Plus, Paul Dano is also chilling as the Riddler.
Oh yeah.
And you can tell he drew much of it from both Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix's Jokers. Plus, the rest of the cast is really good, from Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Andy Serkis as Alfred, and Colin Farrell, who is borderline unrecognizable as a Penguin.
Yeah, I was surprised with how unrecognizable he looked.
This is probably the first Batman film to be a detective mystery to the core. Sure, the Nolan films and BVS have elements of Batman's detective skills, but this one fully portrays him as a well-grade detective.
It does.
And the action sequences are well directed, and obvious that Matt Reeves took notes from Arkham Asylum. So yeah, this is an obvious recommendation, as it's a great start to a new Batman franchise, and I can't wait to see more. And I'm giving this a seal of cinema.
Nice. When I saw this back in March, give me a second. Let me pull something up really quick. Give me a second. This might take a second. Excuse me. Okay, so as I was saying, when I saw can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. When I saw the Batman back in March, I really thought it would be the best. I thought it was the best movie I saw that year of 2022 so far. That was until I saw another film, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Yeah, the Batman is just one of the most exhilarating and exciting films I have ever seen. I have ever seen. From its wonderful performance by Robert Pattinson to an unrecognizable and menacing performance by Colin Farrell, as well as the Penguin, as well as its menacing yet powerful performance by Paul Dano, to other great actors giving it their all, such as giving out some fantastic performance like Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, John Turturro, Andy Serkis, and one of my most underrated actors working today, Peter Sarsgaard. It's very well directed by Matt Reeves, who directed the Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes, which I love both of those films, and I love the Batman just as much as I love those films, and the writing was terrific. Speaking of the writing, I love how the writing not only has great dialogue and great character development, but I also love how I was also surprised with how it carefully balances the superhero as well as the crime drama tone. That was very, very well handled. As I was watching some of the crime drama as I was watching some of the crime drama stuff being handled, I couldn't help but think about The Godfather as I was watching it, especially when it came to the Penguin, which I won't spoil what happens, but once you do see the Penguin in the film, it'll probably give you some Godfather vibes too, just like it did to me.
And yeah, right. We really need to stop taunting Robert Pattinson just because he's in Twilight.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. Just like people need to stop picking on Kristen Stewart just because she was also in Twilight 2. Twilight was not their fault.
It was Stephanie Myers.
Yeah, really. And when they're not out of Twilight, they're shown to be very talented actors, and like Kristen Stewart with Spencer last year, Robert Pattinson has shown to be a very talented actor with films like the Good Time and The Lighthouse, and The Batman is easily the best that he's been in so far in my eyes. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Forgot to mention that. The movie is 3 hours long, but to me, it didn't matter because of how much I was emotionally invested in the story. And for me, it just flew by. The visual effects are terrific. The story was terrific. The action sequences are some of the best and most exciting sequences I've ever seen put to film. Michael Giacchino's musical score was absolutely phenomenal. The cinematography was terrific. The art direction and the set designs were fantastic. and above all, this, and also the costume designs were absolutely terrific too. So yeah, so overall, do not miss the Batman. It is one of the best comic book films I have ever seen. I know we're in March. I know we're in the middle of April, and I'm excited for the other like comic book films to come out later this year, like Doctor Strange, Thor, and some of the other comic book films, as well as like the new Spider-Verse sequel. But as of right now, this is my favorite comic book film of the year, and without a doubt, it is the very first film of 2022 to earn a perfect 10 out of 10 or an A+. Well done, Matt Reeves.
Plus, can we all agree that this is Robert's best performance as a Bat?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And I saw the Batman twice with my father. Because my dad is a huge Batman fan ever since he was a boy. Well, it was a great film. I liked the acting, the writing, and I liked the nods to the comics and video games. It was mostly flawless, by mostly because I personally dislike a certain line said by Catwoman in the Batman.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyways, my next movie review is The Atom Project. And this was a fun sci-fi film. The premise is interesting to explore, even though it's basically the same as Looper. Ryan Reynolds steals the show, as does Walter Scobell as the younger version of him. And there are some fun action set pieces throughout. There are some plot points, the pacing can be slow at times, and some of the effects may be subpar. But I'd still recommend seeing this at least once on Netflix. So I'll give it a seal of approval.
Nice.
Okay, so our next movie is a movie that has gotten a little quote-unquote controversy on Twitter. Do you want us to do the reviews first, or talk about the controversy first?
Let's do the review first, and then talk about the controversy.
All right. In this case, Turning Red. I already did a video describing my issues with this movie, so I'll keep it brief. I get what the director was saying in terms of puberty and identity, but it just falls completely short for me. While the animation is top tier as we come to expect from Pixar, I felt the characters were really hard to root for, especially the main character and her bitchy mother. I also had issues with the style of music and dialogue, as it just felt too quote-unquote hip and cool for a Pixar film, which is usually pretty hard film and timeless. There are even one or two abortion jokes that really rub me the wrong way, like my panda, my choice.
Okay. I'm sorry that I even laughed at that. Yeah, I didn't like that joke either.
And then there's the climax, which we're gonna have to get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen
Okay, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the climax, because I thought that was really well done.
So, if I haven't seen Turning Red yet, I suggest viewing the video for a second until it pulls up the symbol saying turn it back on.
Right. So I'm just gonna. So this is turn off, and then this is turn on.
All right. So basically, May forgoes the exorcism ritual and is joining her friends at this boy band concert. But her mom's necklace broke, thus unleashing this giant panda kaiju that seriously looks like if Violet Beauregard's mother had sex with a Care Bear. So anyway, Kaiju destroys a concert to try to kill May, until she and her friends try to calm her down enough to get back to normal. And one of May's tactics expressing her rebelliousness includes straight up twerking in a Pixar movie.
I will admit, I did not like that twerking part at all. That was really unnecessary. And that was one of the jokes that really fell flat for me.
And I didn't hate it as much as the cuties, because May is depicted as 13 years old, but it was still, it still rubbed me the wrong way.
Plus, it was animated.
And not to mention that when her mom goes back to normal, she doesn't get any punishment for all that collateral damage and near murder. No arrest, no fines, not even a slap on the wrist. They just let her go because she learned her lesson, I guess. Seriously, Rainbow Dash and Double Rain Boom got more punishment than her. Okay, spoiler talk off. So overall, this is hands down my least favorite Pixar film so far. While other films like Onward, Brave, and Cars 2 were merely underwhelming, this was just painful to sit through. I just hope Lightyear turns a new leaf for them when it comes out this June. Zero mediocrity, theatery right.
Least. Okay, first of all, least favorite. I'm sorry, but I'm astonished.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. I know.
I'm astonished. I'm surprised you even think that this is worse than like Cars 2, because Cars 2 was the worst of the Pixar films. Look, I won't deny that I did have one issue with the film, and that is that some of the jokes did fall a bit flat, including that one joke that Soren mentioned, which I really did not like, and that was really unnecessary. And that was part of like the 8% of the jokes that did fall a bit flat, but that's really it. The fact that you would even say that Turning Red is worse than Cars 2 and Brave is shocking to me, because this is a beautifully animated film, and best of all, this movie did a fantastic job covering the subject of like identity and puberty. So I feel people are just missing the point of what this movie's supposed to represent. And to me, the director of this film did a very good job with this movie. It's very well directed. The animation is absolutely beautiful. The writing was fantastic. Fantastic. Great dialogue and great characters. The story was fantastic. The voice acting was absolutely terrific. I loved the actress that voiced Mei Lin in the film. She was fantastic, and Sandra Oh did a fantastic job. Voicing Ming Li. She did a fantastic job voicing her, and I love the soundtrack. I really disagree with you, Soren, on him being like hip and cool, because this movie's taking place in 2002, and girls back then were like into that stuff. So it's understandable why the director of that film did that. It wasn't trying to be hip and cool. If you want to see films that are like, if you want to see an anime film that tries way too hard to be hip and cool, look at Norm of the North and the Emoji Movie. Those are way worse.
Oh, they are way
worse. Yeah, really. I absolutely love the soundtrack for this movie. It's one of the better soundtracks I've heard in the film this year. It's very well edited, very well paced. 92% of the jokes landed for me. And like I said before, this movie did a fantastic job. Oh yeah, mate. I love the actresses that played I love the actors that voiced May's friends too. They were great, and I love their characters too. And like I stated before, this movie did a fantastic job covering the subject of like puberty and how it could change you, and how it affects you because of how it changes you. That's why that film worked for me.
Oh yeah, right.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. We're gonna talk about that because that fucking pissed me off. Yeah.
Well, I saw the trailer of Turning Red, and it was okay.
I'll admit I wasn't impressed with the way that the trailer looked, so I was a bit nervous, like going into this. But thankfully, it was much better than I thought it was going to be. It's too bad.
Turning Red is way better than Boss Baby 2 and Space Jam 2. Way better.
Way better. Yeah, really. Way better. So yeah, overall, I absolutely loved Turning Red. Sure, it may not be the best that Pixar. It may not be the best that Pixar has done this decade, unlike Soul. But you know what? Fuck it. It didn't need to be as masterful as Soul. It was still one of the most moving, beautifully animated, and relatable movies I have seen this entire year so far. And for anybody that has ever had to experience puberty in real life, will definitely relate to this movie a lot. I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my favorites I've seen in 2022 so far, and I'm definitely going to give this a 9.5 out of 10 or an A. Well done, well done, Pixar, Disney, and to everybody involved with this gem. Well done.
And before we move on, I just gotta say, Mr. Enter, what the hell does this movie have to do with 9/11?
Yeah, really.
Absolutely nothing.
What the fuck does 9/11 have anything to do with Turning Red? I mean, sure, it takes place in 2002, but still.
Plus this movie takes place in Canada.
Yeah, it's in Canada, and for you to say that 9/11 is completely disrespectful, for you to say that 9/11 should like meant son of a bitch, I messed up. For you to say that Turning Red should have mentioned 9/11, that is very, very distasteful and disrespectful to the people that lost their lives on that tragic day.
Yeah, and that is the reason why Lilo and Stitch's ending was rewritten.
Yeah, and it's just, I was never a fan of Mr. Ender. I think Mr. Ender is one of the most is the most overrated animation reviewer I've ever seen in my life. He's pretentious. He's not only pretentious, but he also complains way too. But he also like gets way too anal on unlike the cartoons. Unlike the cartoon shows and movies he's reviewing. Yes, I'm well aware he did admirable animation, but again, he gets some of his stuff wrong, and that's why I do not like Mr. Ender at all. I was never a fan of Mr. Ender, but after seeing that video, and after seeing that infamous COVID video where he literally said that healthcare is not a human right, yes, he said that.
Is he fucking serious?
He literally said that. Hey, Mr. Ender, by your logic, does that mean that I shouldn't get a vaccine because it's not a human right? Is that what you're trying to imply?
Seriously, that statement makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And because I have insurance on I have health insurance. I can't. I'm not allowed to have my human right on the health insurance that takes care of me and my family. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I had a UTI last year, and healthcare pretty much saved a crap ton of money for me.
Yeah, really. Who the fuck do you think you are trying to say that healthcare it's not a human right when really it is a human right? You fucking snake. And who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to mention 9/11 in an animated movie turning red when number one, this movie has nothing to do with 9/11 whatsoever, and number two, you're being very disrespectful. Very disrespectful and very disgraceful to the people that lost their lives on that horrific day. Shame on you.
Yeah, really.
And also, while we're on the subject of the turning red controversy, this controversy really pissed me off. Really pisses me off because there have been like parents like complaining. There have been parents and other ignorant people complaining that the film is too woke and that it's also sexist and misogynistic.
Too woke? Too
misogynistic? And too sexist?
At least I came up with legit reasons to just like turning red.
Yeah. Number one, it's just a fucking movie. Get over it. Number two, you do realize that this is a movie that's covering the subject of that's covering themes of puberty and how it changes you, and how it affects you as well as identity, right? And number three, what the hell is so sexist and misogynistic about a girl, a 13-year-old animated girl who's experiencing puberty? What the hell is so sexist and misogynistic about that?
Nothing.
Exactly. Look, I don't have a problem with people dislike. I don't have a problem if people don't like turning red because it's their opinion at the end of the day, and I respect that. But what I do have a problem with is people spreading false and dangerous information about turning red that makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. So to the people that are involved with this controversy, shame on you.
It's almost like people are trying to be offended.
And be politically correct. Yeah. To these PC people, shame on you. And to Mr. Anna for making that distasteful 9/11 mention in turning red, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You are the reason you give people with autism or Asperger's such a bad name. And other cartoon reviewers such a bad name as well. You are the reason why I refuse to join the cartoon community because of your pathetic behavior.
I'm better off standing up for autistic people who give autism a good name like Billy West. He turned 70 today.
Well, happy birthday to him.
Yeah.
And
happy birthday, Billy West. We love you, man.
Happy birthday, Soren.
And while I don't think Mr. Enter is as bad as the Miss Pony,
oh no, he's still worse.
Or Cosmodor, he's still bad.
Or Lily Orchard. He's still would nevertheless in my top 5 most hated YouTubers working today. And I know some people are gonna say, well, you're just hating on Mr. Enderby because he's that popular. No. The reason I do not like Mr. Ender is because of what he has become nowadays. And what he's been before, and what he's become what he's continuing to become as of nowadays. That's why I dislike him so much. Just, yeah, and also, I want to say this as well. Do not, under any circumstances, attack Mr. Ender, Mr. Ender, and any other people mentioned on the show. Yes, this includes harsh criticism, but that does not mean it gives you the right to go and witch hunt them. Witch hunt them. That's not okay.
Doxing's not okay either.
Oh no, that's not okay either. Like I said, this is just my harsh criticism on Mr. Ender and nothing else. Do not, under any circumstances, witch hunt them. Do not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need to say about
This is a Blair Witch Hunt project.
And not to mention, witch hunting them, they're not going to learn their lesson. Remember how Mr. FilmBrony went to witch hunting and yet didn't learn his lesson?
Exactly, which led to a well-deserved, which led to a great video from Cartoon she called exposing Mr. FilmBrony for all the actions he has caused. If you have not seen the video, I highly recommend it. I'll put the link in the description for it down below at the end of this podcast. But really, I really do feel sorry for Cartoon She and what he's went through.
Yeah,
it's just as a person suffering through autism, as a person as a person who's on the autistic spectrum, I really relate to what he's went through a lot. Because it was like how I was when I was in the Brony community, and despite me making some art that I really enjoy doing, I still gave up on the Brony community like some time ago. It's just, and honestly, it's just time for me to move on to better things. I might still do some MLP related art, but not a lot of it. And I'm still keeping this Fluttershy poster I have here, but for those that watch me on DeviantArt and stuff, don't expect me to make like a lot of the Flutter I'm sorry. Don't expect me to make like a lot of MLP related art. Just maybe like once or twice a month, and then that's it. Yeah, that's all I need to say about this.
So yeah. One last time. Turning Red was just a movie. No matter how much you love or hate that movie.
Exactly. It's just a movie. Get over it and grow up.
Next review.
Let's just get to the next review and oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hey, remember the movie Fatal Attraction? The movie that
oh my god.
Lump before everyone was trying to rip it off and recapture its success. Well, here comes the director of that movie to give you another Fatal Attraction rip-off direct suspense thriller, Deep Water. Well, Ben Affleck and Anna de Armas are trying, and the direction is solid. The plot is just so predictable and uninteresting that I just didn't give a crap for a second. Not worth your time, still mediocrity. Just watch Fatal Attraction again.
So apparently the director of that film basically ripped off his own movie.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Thankfully, the next movie is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Actually, I wanna save that for last because we got to talk about this film that we got to talk about.
I have a mini rant of my own first.
Sure.
And that is the bubble. Judd Apatow, what happened? You made some of the best comedies of the 21st century with, Knocked Up, For Your Virgin, and King of Comedy. King of Staten Island. And you had a decent premise of all these actors stuck in the film set under both the pandemic and studio scrutiny. So why did you make a movie that somehow made This Is 40 look like Monty Python and the Holy Grail? The characters were all unlikable, as all they do is argue and complain. It's way too long with so many scenes that drag out. The soundtrack and the songs they use are super annoying, and it's just not funny. Judd is known for all these raunchy and adult jokes, but his previous movies knew to balance them out. Here it's just being raunchy and adult just for the sake of it. So if you want to see a comedy that touches on the pandemic, just watch Borat's subsequent movie film or Kimi instead. If you want to see a satire on Hollywood, just stick with Tropic Thunder. If you're excited to see the next Judd Apatow comedy, keep waiting, because this ain't it, and I'm sad to give this the seal of disapproval because I expected better from him. And this next movie.
Oh boy.
I just want to get this over with. Due to how much I hated this movie.
Same here. Same here. Honestly, I just saw this. I just saw this a couple hours ago. Actually, a few hours ago, and
if you want to know if you want to know the full details on why this is such a cinematic succubus, go to my YouTube channel. But I'll say this: you can tell that Sony only wanted to have this set up a cinematic universe when the story and characters are just emotionless and trite. Scenes just happen without any flow or cohesion. While Jared Leto's obviously trying, the rest of the cast is just underacting or overacting. The fight scenes are a joke. The effects look like something out of a Snapchat filter.
yeah, really.
And they also look like these guys.
Yeah. And when even the end credits scene was nonsense. Like, I already had issues with Michael Keaton showing up in the trailer, but this final plot only makes his cameo even worse with so many continuity errors that make Transformania look coherent. And
sorry.
And only further proves that they didn't even try with this one. They didn't even try. This is the second worst superhero movie I've ever seen in my life, only behind Catwoman. Combine the forced boyfriend, world building of Van Forstick, the cheapness of the 90s Captain America and Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, the boredom and bleakness of the New Mutants, and the overall pointlessness of Elektra. And it has the honor of being the only Marvel movie to get the seal of rage. I'm so glad this movie underperformed at the box office, and I hope Sony takes that as a sign just to let Disney handle it.
Yeah, really. And now for my 2 cents on this fucking piece of shit. Folks, when I saw Moonfart back in February this year, I really thought it was the worst movie I saw that year. But I also remember saying in that video that I would end up seeing something worse than Moonfart Moonfart later this year, and God help me if I do. And guys, Morbius is not just one of the worst comic book films I've ever seen in my life. This is already topping Roland Emmerich's Moonfart as being the worst movie I've seen in 2022 so far. This is seriously one of the most boring, pathetic, idiotic, inconsistent, and just downright inept movies I've ever seen in my life. The acting is some of the worst I've ever seen in a movie this entire year so far. Jared Leto, what the hell are you doing?
It's like ever since he won his Oscar, he's just using it as an excuse to not try anymore.
Yeah, really. As if his Mario on crack performance in House of Gucci wasn't bad enough. Now he's giving out such a wooden and shallow performance in the film. In the film as Michael Morbius.
Well, unless if you count him as the Joker in the Snyder Cut.
Right, but I don't want to mention that. But that's besides the point. And Matt Smith as Milo Morbius was completely awful in this movie. The rest of the acting is terrible too. The story is a muddled mess, since almost nothing happens in the film until the third act.
Did you know that Milo is actually based on a pre-existing villain named Hunger? Real name Loxias Crown.
I know that.
Yeah. And let me tell you, speaking of messy, the pacing is some of the worst I've ever experienced in the movie this entire year. I cannot begin to tell you how much I was bored throughout this entire movie, and how many times I had to yell at the movie to get to basically like, I cannot begin to tell you how many times I yelled, "Get on with it!"
Yes, get over it!
And thank you, Metal and Fan 2004, for mentioning this. The writing is the worst I've seen and heard in the movie this entire year so far. Not only is the dialogue some of the most cringe-worthy dialogue I've ever heard in the motion picture this entire year, but the characters are absolutely despicable and some of the worst I've ever seen in the movie this entire year. And speaking of the characters, I couldn't give a rat's ass about every single character in the film, and not to mention the action sequences are some of the worst I've ever seen in not just a comic book movie, but in the motion picture in general. Especially when not only was the editing all over the place, but so was the cinematography, since it's basically nothing but a shaky mess throughout. And the visual effects. Oh my god.
They look like something of a Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, not just that. This has some of the worst visual effects I've ever seen in a movie I've ever seen this decade so far. It's almost as bad as the visual effects from Cats. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. As if Moonfart's visual effects weren't bad enough, now the visual effects in this one is even worse, especially since they look like something out of a PS4 game. Actually, not PS4, PS3, a PS3 game.
And it's really saying something when Hotel Transylvania's flying scenes look more realistic, and that was a cartoon.
Yeah, really. Guys, fuck Bias. fuck Bias indeed. And my god, while we're on the subject of visual effects, when I saw the horrendous CGI faces on Jared Leto and Matt Smith, this was literally my reaction. No joke, this was literally my reaction to this. I can't think. That was literally my reaction when I saw the horrible CGI effects on the faces of Matt Smith and Jared Leto. It was that awful.
Or Ivan was like this.
My thoughts exactly, Rainbow Dash. Oh my goodness.
I'm surprised that the face looks like this.
Yeah, really. And and I showed. And you know what? I gotta show them this. I gotta show them the face of Matt Smith because, oh my god, they look like something that came out of a cartoon. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
Before you move on, I have the perfect reaction to this.
That was back when SpongeBob was at its all time high.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right, Rain. You're right, Rain. Because cartoons are more smarter and better made than Morbius. You're right.
Yeah.
And besides the film throwing in so many cliches that you've seen in other films before, as well as the music trying way too hard to be like The Dark Knight, it also has not only one of the worst endings I've ever seen in a movie, but the worst end credit scene I've ever seen in a comic book movie.
Yeah.
So basically, by having, I'm gonna have to spoil the shit out of this movie because
who cares about spoilers? No one should see that movie.
Yeah, really. No one should see it. I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. Here we go. Because nobody should get this piece of shit any money whatsoever. So basically, after the ending where Morbius defeats his brother Milo Morbius and Milo dies, in a mid-credit scene, Adrian Toomes, yes, the Adrian Toomes played by Michael Keaton. I can't make this shit up, by the way. Adrian Toomes' Vulture finds himself transported into Morbius' universe. Assuming that his transportation involves Spider-Man, Toomes approaches Morbius and suggests they form a team.
That never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
Nope. This movie is not only a big fuck you.
Before you move on, this end question doesn't make any sense. Like, first of all, if Doctor Strange's spell is supposed to get Andrew and Toby and the villains out, how the hell did Michael King get caught in the action? And second,
like, really, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, but if you look closely in the scene of No Way Home, you see the Spider-Man villains like Kraven from the portal.
And the second, when Michael appears in prison, they just let him go?
Like, what the fuck?
And not to mention, when he got transported, he was wearing his prison uniform. Yet somehow later we see him in his suit. Like, how does that make any sense? At least Green Goblin was wearing his costume when he got sucked into the MCU.
Like, really? This ending was not only a big fuck you to fans of Spider-Man, but a big fuck you to the audience as well. There's a reason why I hate this more than moon fart. There's a reason. Because this is such an insult to anybody's intelligence, and an insult to Spider-Man fans alike, that you can't even believe that this piece of shit somehow got into the editing room, or the fact that it got even made in the first place. This movie was...
Or the fact that it was made by the director of Life.
I can't believe the director of Life, a solid sci-fi film, would direct this movie. And I'm well aware he did Safe House and Child 44, which I wasn't a fan of both of those films either. But I can't believe the director of that film. I can't believe the director of Life would even direct not only the worst movie in his belt, but one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I know we're only...
Yeah, not to mention that he was talking about the studio interference, and he said a moment from the trailer, he said, I didn't put that in.
I honestly feel so bad for the director, but still, this is... Guys,
my dad personally somewhat liked it because he likes shorter films, but for me, I'm all about the subtext. So I didn't like short.
Same here.
His opinion, but for us, to quote Scruffy from the Ugly Duckling movie. Yeah, really.
Yeah,
that movie's pretty underrated anyway. You should check it out when you get a chance.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's a good one. It's a good one for sure. Without a doubt, this is not only one of the worst comic book films I've ever seen in my life. It's already the worst movie I've seen in 2022 so far. And without a doubt, it's not only... I'm sorry. Let me straight up my wording. And without a doubt, it gets a big fuck you, and the second film to earn a 0 out of 10.
Well,
this movie.
Yeah, I admit it's bad, but I look at it from a different lens. I look at it as a 1990s throwback.
I understand
that.
Not to mention that I told you that Morbius was a boss in the Spider-Man 3 game, so it's the closest people can get to Tobey Maguire encountering Morbius.
Yeah.
One more time to Sony to Sony and the writers for screwing this up. Boo! Boo! Hiss!
Just get the rights to Disney already.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. You shit on Spider-Man enough.
Yeah.
Sony, you better hope that the Spider-Man, that Spider-Verse sequel, which comes out later this year, redeems you. You better hope that film redeems you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just guys, do not watch this movie. Not even if you're curious to see how bad it is. It is not worth your time.
Just goes to show that Tom Robbins continues to butcher Marvel.
Yeah, really. Just
Yeah, and Nick Jameson provided the voice of Morbius in the Spider-Man animated series.
Mm-hmm.
I just know all these facts that not a lot of people know. And I just get frustrated when people don't know them.
Nick, I can't hear you. Oh boy.
And also, did you know that Morbius was going to be in an alternate ending of Blade?
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, and he would have appeared in an early draft of Blade 2, but was scrapped due to rights issues. And Arson Entertainment would have made a Morbius movie back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. And yeah, you know what, Rainwright? Thank you for mentioning that. This movie was so bad that it made me feel bad for shitting on this movie. This movie was so bad that it made me feel bad on shitting on the Venom movies.
Yeah, because this movie makes the Venom movies look like Godfather 1 and 2.
Oh, it does.
Actually, defend the Venom movies.
As much as I can't stand those Venom movies, I at least see some appeal to it. Here, I don't see the appeal.
Well, at least for Venom's case, the character's more connected to Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yep, just once again, guys, do not watch this movie. It is not worth your time, and I'm just done talking about it. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie up its own fucking ass.
Yeah.
Fuck this movie.
I have this movie loud.
Yeah, really. Even despite being number one at the box office, it still didn't manage to stay even longer since it had the biggest drop on its second weekend.
Plus it got beat by the Sonic movie, which we'll talk about in the next podcast.
Yeah, when we do the podcast in May. In late May, I should say. But yeah, just stay away from this film, guys. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Let's just move on.
Let's just move on. Now we talked about the worst movie of the year. To now my new number one favorite movie of the year so far. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Directed by the Daniels, who brought you one of the most underrated films from 2016, Swiss Army Man.
I'll have to check Swiss Army Man out when I get to it, especially watching this movie. Because this has got to be the most batshit crazy movie I've ever seen in my life. At least up there. Well, the story about an unexpected chosen one who finds this otherworldly multiverse he has to save is nothing new. The way that Daniel showcases it on screen is really something. All the performances are stellar, especially their range of emotion and physical abilities, from being old and feeble to athletically able. Give Michelle Yeoh some attention already. Plus, the technical achievements are something to behold. Everything from the special effects to the cinematography and especially the editing will take you along the ride as the main character jumps in between different dimensions. They're so good that They're just gonna be snubbed by the Oscars, but that's just reality, I guess.
Unfortunately.
So if you're sick and tired of all these blockbusters fading into mediocrity, see one of the most effed up and insanely enjoyable experiences you'll ever see in the theater, and I'm giving this the seal of cinema.
This movie was incredible. This is not only the best movie I've seen in 2022 so far, but it is one of the most original, mesmerizing, and exhilarating films I have ever seen. Not to mention one of the most mind-blowing films I've ever seen as well. I won't talk much about this movie since I want you guys to go into this but take our word for it. This is a great movie. A great film that deals with a simple story, yet how it was executed was just nothing short of just masterful. I was emotionally invested in the story. The script was fantastic. The Daniels, who wrote and directed this movie, not only did they do a fantastic job with the way they wrote this movie, since it had fantastic dialogue, great, and how it carefully balances the tone between action, comedy, drama, and some other things, as well as great characters. But the way they directed the movie, but you could see that the passion and the vision they go for with the way they direct this movie and the actors, which hats off to you guys. The acting was absolutely fantastic. Michelle Yeoh gives out one of the best and gives out such a powerhouse performance as Evelyn. She was incredible. Jamie Lee Curtis also gives out the best supporting performance I've seen this year so far. She is also fantastic in this movie too. The visuals are fantastic and mind-blowing. The soundtrack is wonderful. The cinematography is beautiful. It's very well edited. And unlike a certain other film where it was in your face just for the sake of it, this one is definitely in your face, but it has a purpose at being that. Adam McKay, take notes.
Yeah.
And I was also surprised with how funny the movie was too. Like when it came to the humor, not only was it witty, but also very clever and timely as well. And I also love the way it ended too. This has seriously one of my favorite endings I've ever seen in the movie this entire year so far. This movie was absolutely fantastic, and you know what? The movie's 130. The movie's only like 140 minutes. Yet it just flew by for me. At times I did feel the runtime, but that didn't matter. I was still emotionally invested in the story. As long as I was emotionally invested in the story, that's all. That didn't matter. So.
And it has probably one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And I don't want to spoil it, but those who have seen it will agree, it totally rocks.
Yes! Yes! Overall, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is the best movie I've seen this year so far. It is absolutely one of the most mind-blowing, mesmerizing, and exhilarating movies I have ever seen. And like the Batman, it's the second film this year to earn a perfect 10 out of 10 or an A+. Hats off to you, A24, and hats off to you, Anthony and Joe Russo, for producing this movie, and hats off to you, Daniels. You did an incredible job making this movie. Between this and Swiss Army Man, I cannot wait to see what you do next. Well done, guys.
Yep, and that's it for all of our movie reviews, and we have a few discussions to discuss. First off, remember in the last podcast during my Buck Wild review, I mentioned how Disney officially shut down Blue Sky Studios and canceled this particular movie?
Yeah.
Well, in other news, Netflix has officially saved this movie.
Good.
And that is Nimona.
Nimona, yeah.
Now the reason why I think it's really good is not because of the whole LGBT thing, but also because Blue Sky was so far into production in this thing, and Disney just flat out shut it down.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know the Ice Age sequels are not that good, but Blue Sky has made some good movies, like the first Ice Age, Robots, Epic, Peanuts movie, even though I found it a bit overrated, and Spies in Disguise.
Yeah, it's just when they shut down like Blue Sky Studios, it's just I was just so disappointed.
Speaking of Blue Sky Studios, have you guys seen a particular clip that's been circling the internet of Scrap?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, you can say it was the perfect send-off to this great good studio.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, that's it for that discussion. And I have a couple lists to go over. First off is my own list of ranking 55 performances of the 2010s that were completely shut out the Academy. And trust me, this is a whole lot of list because the Academy just made so many bad mistakes nowadays. And trust me, they did before, but today it's even more so. But yeah, on to the list. Number 5. Excuse me. Number 55 is Awkwafina in the Farewell.
She should have been nominated.
Number 54, Felicity Jones in the Monster Calls. Number 53, Barbara Hershey in Black Swan.
She should have been nominated for that too.
Number 52, Paul Dano in Love and Mercy.
Yes, he was fantastic as Brian Wilson, and for them to snub him for that film, that doesn't make any sense.
Number 51 is Ewan McGregor, aka General Kenobi in Christopher Robin. Number 50 is Rene Russo in Nightcrawler.
She should have been nominated.
Number 49 is Carey Mulligan in Shame. My number 48 is Chloe Grace Moretz in a pretty overlooked vampire movie, Let Me In. Number 47 is Aaron Taylor Johnson in Nocturnal Animal. Number 46 is Andrew Garfield, aka Peter 3 in The Social Network. Number 45.
He should have been nominated for that film. He should have been nominated.
Number 45 is Michael Shannon, not what's his name in The Shape of Water.
Michael Shannon for The Shape of Water, yeah. He should have been nominated too.
Number 44 is Daniel Bruhl in Rush. Number 43 is Song Kang-ho in Parasite.
Yeah, like where was his nomination? Not only was it the best movie I saw from 2019, but where was his nomination?
Yeah. Number 42, Sigourney Weaver in The Monster Calls.
That I also agree with.
Number 41, Judi Dench in Skyfall.
She should have been nominated too.
Number 40, controversy aside, Ezra Miller and We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Yeah.
My number 39 is Tilda Swinton in Suspiria.
She was good, but I wouldn't say she's Oscar worthy.
Number 38 is Daphne Keane in Logan.
She should have been nominated for sure.
Number 37 is John David Washington in Black Klansman.
Yes, he gave out one of the best performances I saw from 2018, and the fact that they snubbed him for that film, just what the shit.
Number 36 is the late Drake Chadwick in Captain America: Civil War.
Yes, he also should have been nominated.
Number 35. I know J.K. Simmons got his well-deserved Oscar, but Miles Teller in Whiplash.
Yeah, he should have been nominated too.
Number 34, I have a tie. Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron in Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes, they should have been nominated for that film.
Number 33, Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther.
I agree with that.
Number 32, Idris Elba in Beasts of No Nation.
I also agree with that choice.
Number 31 is ScarJo in Under the Skin. Number 30 is Lupita Nyong'o in Us.
The fact that she wasn't nominated for that film really pisses me off to this day.
Number 29 is both Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams in Blue Valentine.
I agree with that choice.
Number 28 is Jacob Tremblay in Room.
I agree.
Number 27, Leela Hatami in A Separation.
Yeah, she should have been nominated for that film, especially since A Separation is one of the most powerful films I've ever seen in my life.
Number 26 is J-Lo in Hustlers.
She should have been nominated for that film, for sure.
Agreed.
Number 25, John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I agree with that choice.
Number 24 is Emily Blunt in both Sicario and A Quiet Place.
I agree with that choice.
Number 23, Toni Collette in Hereditary.
Yes, the fact that she was not nominated for that film? Like, are you kidding me?
And Rain White, I'm talking about 2010 exclusively. So, Palm Springs and No Way Home aren't on this list.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Number 22, I have another tie. Albert Brooks in Drive and Johnny Depp in Black Mass.
Yeah, they should have been nominated too.
And by the way, fuck you, Amber Heard. Anyways,
fuck you, Amber Heard. Fuck you.
Number 21 is Javier Bardem in Skyfall.
He should have been nominated for that one as well.
Number 20, Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained.
Yes.
That should have been his first Oscar.
Yeah, really.
Number 19 is Tom Hanks in Captain Phillips.
Yes, I agree. He should have been nominated for that film, without a doubt.
Number 18 is Patrick Stewart in Logan.
He should have been nominated.
Number 17 is Ryan Gosling in Drive.
I agree with that choice.
Number 15... Number 16 is Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse.
He should have been nominated, but no, they decided they want to focus on more of the November and December films. Fucking idiots.
Number 15, I have a tie because both these performances are great examples of one-man band. There's Ryan Reynolds in Buried and Tom Hardy in Lock.
Nice.
Number 14 is Tilda Swinton in her best performance in We Need to Talk About Kevin.
She was terrific in that movie.
Number 13, Taron Egerton in Rocketman.
I agree. He should have been nominated.
Number 12, Josh Brolin in Avengers Infinity War. Number 11, James Franco in The Disaster Artist.
He should have been nominated. Like, controversy aside, he should have gotten that nomination. I already ranted on the Oscars' hypocritical decision, so I don't need to say much anymore.
Number 10 is Alicia Vikander for not the Danish Girl, but Ex Machina.
She should have been nominated for Ex Machina. She was good in The Danish Girl, even though she's not in the film that much, and it really doesn't make any sense for the Oscars to basically give her that award since she was only in since she was not in the film all that much. This doesn't make any sense.
Well, then again, Anthony Hopkins was only in 10 minutes of Silence of the Lambs and guy's Oscar, so...
Well, that's different.
Anyways, my number 9 is James McAvoy in Split. Number 8 is Hugh Jackman in Prisoners and Logan.
Yes, he should have been nominated for both.
Number 7, Mila Kunis in Black Swan.
She should have been nominated too. She was in. This was when she was facing like. This was when she was in good movies. Before slipping off in 2013, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Number 6, Ethan Hawke in First Reform.
He should have been nominated.
Number 5, Amy Adams in Arrival.
I also agree with that choice. I love Meryl Streep. She was fantastic in Florence Foster Jenkins, but really Amy Adams deserved that nomination.
Number 4 is Andy Serkis in the Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Yes.
Number 3, Michael Fassbender in Shame. Number 2, Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler.
Yes.
And number 1, their biggest snub of the decade, Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems.
Thank you. He should have been nominated. And for the Oscars to be hypocritical, pretentious fucks by saying such rude shit to Adam Sandler like that, fuck them.
And don't get me wrong, Joaquin Phoenix deserves his Oscar in spades, but at least give Sandler a nomination.
Yeah, really. I mean, yes, Adam Sandler has been in a lot of bad films. There's no denying that. But when he's in a better movie with a director who forces him to do something, that's when he's like at his all-time best. And he was like that in 2019 with Uncut Gems, which still to this day, this is the biggest snub I have ever seen in my entire life. Aside from the Lego Movie and Won't You Be My Neighbor.
I feel like he also got snubbed at the Oscars for Punch Drunk Love.
And he should have been nominated for that too. But that was in the 2000s.
Yeah, same for Rain Over Me.
Yeah.
Anyways, on to our final topic of the night. My Little Pony Season 7, I thought was really good.
I really love that season.
It would have topped Season 4 if it weren't for the underwhelming finale. But we'll get to it when we get to it.
I actually like the finale.
And there were only a few bad episodes. In fact, I'll just go for them right now. Number 26, Secrets and Pies, and number 25,
fuck that episode.
See Anything. Yeah, Secrets and Pies just basically told kids that it's okay to lie.
Which is complete bullshit.
As for the average episodes, number 24, Once Upon a Zeppelin, and number 23, It Isn't the Main Thing About You.
It isn't the main thing about you.
Number 22, Shadow Play Part 1. Number 21, Parental Guidance. Number 20 is Shall Play Part 2. And number 19, Rock Solid Friendship. As for the good episodes, number 18 is Campfire Tale. Number 17, Uncommon Bond. Number 16, Daring Done. Number 15, Discord Harmony. Number 14, Asking for Trouble. Number 13, Marks and Recreation. You guys really should see Scott Source's review with Jasper Pie. That's probably the best review he's done.
Yeah.
And there are 11 great episodes. Number 11, A Health of Information. Number 10, Triple Threat. Number 9, Forever Philly. Number 8, To Change the Changeling. Number 7, Celestial Advice. Number 6, A Flurry of Emotions. By the way, here's my monthly reminder that the Flurry Heart is anything but a Marisu.
Yes, seriously. This is also another reason why the Brony community is why the Brony community can be filled with people who don't know what they're talking about.
And number 5, you guys are going to kill Nick and me for this. Number 5 is Fame and Misfortune.
Seriously, that is the most underrated episode I have ever seen in my life. I do not understand the hate for this at all, because yes, this movie, I mean, this episode was about the social commentary on the fandom, but it was not attacking the fandom at all.
Yeah. My number 4 is All Bottled Up. Number 3, Honest Apple. Number 2, A Real Problem. And number 1, say it with me now, A Perfect
Pair. My favorite episode of the whole series, without a doubt. Alright, so you guys probably know my favorite already. It's The Perfect Pair, without a doubt. And as for my least favorite, It's a Common No Surprise, Secrets and Pies. I have the same best and worst as Soren.
Remember, kids, it's okay to lie if it's not making your friends look bad.
Two words. Bullshit. That's not how life works. Alright, you know what, but before we do wrap this up, if you guys remember, when Soren and I did our podcast, and when Soren, Christian, and I did our podcast where we honored the best movies that we saw in 2021, my top 4 still remains the same, but I'm just gonna read off the list one last time, without going into full details on, because I changed the list one last time, just because, like, there are other films that really deserve more love. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go over the honorable mentions, and then I'm just gonna fire it down, the quick list of my honorable mentions, and then the quick list of my 15 best movies I saw that year. So my honorable mentions: A Quiet Place Part 2, The Suicide Squad, Candyman, Ryan Last Dragon, The Last Duel, Limbo, Zola, the documentary film Julia, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Encanto, my favorite anime last year, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, No Time to Die, Last Night in Soho, Saint Maud, King Richard, In the Heights, The French Dispatch, Nightmare Alley, The Card Counter, Pig, and finally, Mass. And now firing down my top 15, number 15, Judas and the Black Messiah, number 14, Spider-Man No Way Home, number 13, 9 Days. Oh, no, wait, actually, number 13 is actually the Coen brothers on the number 13 is actually Joe Coen's on the tragedy of Macbeth. Number 12, 9 Days. And number 11 was originally my number 2 before it got pushed for 5, and then again at number 11. But I still love this movie regardless. Jane Campion's The Power of the Dog. And then number 10 and number 9 are A24 films, and they're both I saw from last year. Number 10, The Green Knight. Number 9, Come On, Come On. Number 8, Spencer. Number 7, my favorite foreign language film from last year, Pedro Almodovar's Parallel Mothers. Number 6, Summer of Soul. Number 5, the Best Picture winner, Coda. Number 4, and my top 4 are still the same. Number 4, Dune. Number 3, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. Number 2, Kenneth Branagh's Belfast. And my number 1 film of 2021, Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza.
And in case you guys wondering about my list, my honorable mentions are Lamb, Tomorrow War, Respect, West Side Story, Licorice Pizza, Wrath of Man, Finch, Shang-Chi, Card Counter, Cruella, Limp Road, Judas of Black Messiah, Coda, which I really like, but I don't really think it's one of the very best. But anyways, Come on, French Dispatch, Mass, Spencer, and In the Height. My number 15 is Mitchell's versus the Machines. Let's just agree that Lauren Miller just run Sony from now on.
Yeah, really. Phil Lord and Chris Miller should work for Sony Pictures, Sony and Sony Pictures Animation from now on with that.
Number 14, Tragedy of Macbeth. Number 13, Power of the Dog. Number 12, Nightmare Alley. Number 11, Tick Tick Boom. Number 10, The Suicide Squad. Number 9, the most overlooked film of the year, Annette. Number 8, Pig. Number 7, A Quiet Place 2. Number 6, Last Night in Soho. Number 5, The Green Knight. Not to be confused with Franklin the Turtle, mind you.
Right.
Number 4 is Belfast. Number 3, Spider-Man No Way Home. Number 2 is Denisovich's Dune. And yes, I'm still calling him Denisovich, and y'all aren't gonna stop me.
Yeah, really?
and number 1 is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Nice. And that's it. The reason why I wanted to make that quick list one last time is because I'll admit I wasn't impressed with the way my actual list was, since there was some others that really deserved more love. So that's why I wanted to make this list one last time, and then never come back to it again. So yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to do this one last time. I know it was unscripted, and it seemed like I'm kind of dragging things in parts a little bit, but if I'm not happy with the way my original list turned out, then it's best to just redo it one last time, and then just drop all of it after that. Also, since we're ending the podcast, before we go, I do apologize that I want to clarify this. I do apologize that this podcast, that's been over 2 months since we did our last podcast. I had a lot of shit to do in life. Especially when it comes to work, which I just recently finished my 4-day shift this week, and I'm about to do it again next week. And also, I want to clarify as well. Another reason why why it's been taking a while for me to do the podcast is because my parents and I are going to be moving to a new house soon. So that's why it's been taking a long time for me to do these podcasts. But I do want to thank you guys very much for waiting this long. Again, sorry about all this. It's just my mental health, work, and moving come first before this. So
yeah, and plus I'm still suffering from a crap ton of procrastination, as well as preparations for my college graduation this year.
Which I still want to say congratulations to you, Soren.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, so that's gonna do it for this week's podcast. I hope you guys really enjoyed the podcast. And one last thing I want to mention as usual. As always, be sure to subscribe to Christian Frates and Soren the FilmBrony. The FilmBrony, they're awesome. They're awesome people to talk to. The link is in the description below. Give them the love they absolutely deserve. They are just wonderful friends to hang out with. And I really hope you guys have a happy Easter. Tomorrow's Easter, and I'm really excited to celebrate it with my family. So, and hopefully you guys have a good Easter too. So, until we meet again at the end of May for episode 26. Thanks for watching. This is Nick. This is Nick, Christian, and Soren. Signing out for the night. Hope you guys have a great night. And until next time, happy Easter. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye for now.